The Central Bank of Nigeria recently froze the bank account of some of the country's fintech platforms. Affected by the new wave of clampdown are RiseVest, Bamboo, Trove, and Chaka. The latest clampdown comes months after the tech startups entered an agreement with the country's Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, to provide their services to Nigerians looking to expand their investment beyond the shores of Africa's biggest tech market.
Somebody like people like Chaka, they did it to them before, they banned them, but they went and they regularized them. In fact, they were actually the first to get SEC approval now. So they actually registered to do it, okay? So, and I was wondering, okay, are these guys fighting with the SEC? Because, apparently the SEC has one standard, but the central bank has another. So I think there's just a lot of misalignment between different agents, different regulators. So this is also the reason why, up till now, telcos did not get any license for mobile payments, because the NCC and the central bank have failed to agree on how to actually regulate such a thing. So we have a situation where in the tech industry, sometimes you are subject to three regulators. You are subject to NIDA and the Ministry of Information and Technology. You are subject to sometimes the central bank. So then you're also subject to SEC. Sometimes even possible NCC itself. So sometimes you can even be subject to four regulators. So that doesn't help anything at all. You can't. There's no way you can have four masters or three or four masters and expect to make progress. So if there was a situation where you had one regulatory authority just coordinating with the rest to actually make sure that things happen, they will not have this mess that we're in. I think those were my first thoughts.
Tech businesses in Nigeria have come under intense scrutiny, sudden changes to policies and laws by the government. A new bill to revamp the tech regulator was made public in August. Some of its provisions introduced licensing for tech companies, payment of pre-tax profit levies, and hard penalties for violators of the Act. What's fueling this regulation? Could it be that the announcement of seed rounds by some startups is attracting the people in the corridors of power?
The people who announce those investments are usually mostly the investors that push for those announcements to happen, so that they get more credibility in the market. That, okay, look, they're doing this kind of things. Okay, I'm actually in the middle of one right now where the outside investor, still insisting that, okay, look, they must do an announcement, and these guys are totally petrified, about what's happening. They feel that, once they announce it, they're gonna come for them, So we are finding a scenario where people are announcing rounds but not announcing the figures. The amount is undisclosed. So we are seeing more and more of that, but that's just insane. Yes, there was some vanity when it came to those announcements. There were some people who were doing, in fact, you can do an announcement so that you can actually raise more money later on. Okay, so there were a lot of people who were trying to do pump and dump and all of that. But overall, it's actually the investors who encourage those announcements. And when investors are encouraging those announcements, it's about sending signal to the market. Okay? And for me, as far as I'm concerned, the best signal to the market for us is that, okay, look, Nigeria is a place worthy of investing in, or the market is a market worthy of investing in startups that are putting there. So it's actually a plus. It should have been a plus to us. But I don't know, why all of a sudden those announcements are now, particularly for those guys who were in the transportation space. Seems as if making those announcements now attracted competition from government. So, it's something that is much more nuanced. I don't think the announcements are bad, but and I don't think that it's just the announcements alone that's making governments react the way governments is reacting. I just believe that there is total lack of understanding.
The federal government is proposing to change the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA Act 2007, and give the body complete control over the country's burgeoning tech ecosystem. According to the agency, the proposed bill will help the country keep up with the global pace of innovation, as well as address opportunities and threats posed by recent digital technologies. But why has this move unsettled the tech ecosystem? Some specific aspects of the bill have unsettled the ecosystem, thereby making founders and investors begin to question the motive of the government. Sections 6, 13, 20, and 21 in the new bill are more concerning than others and raise questions of regulatory overreach. First, Section 6 grants new powers to NITDA, including testing and approving any technology before it can be used in Nigeria. Second, it can also demand whatever charges and fees it deems necessary, as well as penalties for non-compliance with the Act. Third, the agency also gets authority to enter premises, inspect, seize, seal, detain, and impose administrative sanctions on erring persons and companies who contravene any provision of the Act, subject to a court order. In Section 13, tech companies making a yearly turnover of 100 million naira, that is $243,000, have to pay a 1% levy from their profit before tax. This, in addition to other grants in aid, fees, and levies, will go to a fund for Nigeria's digital economy. Under Sections 20 and 21, NITDA gets to issue its own licenses for tech products, services, and platforms. Operating any of this without authorization will be tantamount to an offense. That is, individuals found guilty will be fined not less than 3 million naira or placed into custody for a year or more. A person can also be charged both a fine and imprisonment. For corporate bodies, the fine is set at 30 million naira. The principal officers of the companies may also be imprisoned for 2 years or more. Furthermore, individuals or corporations that deny NITDA personnel to carry out their duties will be fined 3 million naira and 30 million naira respectively. Prison terms for this offense range from a year to 2. A tech company that qualifies for levies but fails to after 2 months will be liable to a fine of 0.5% of the total amount to be paid every day after the default. Is regulation the way to go when more and more young people are finding comfort in the tech ecosystem and preferring solutions?
Innovation comes before regulation, okay? We haven't even scratched the surface yet on innovation. We're already regulated. So I'm very, and I'm alarmed, okay? If you look at most of the ideas that people are trying to create and make money from here, these are not new. They are not new ideas. They're not original ideas. These are ideas that have been implemented elsewhere that people are just trying to do here again. Okay, where they've been done, try to study how those guys did theirs over there. I don't see any regulator going to, apart from antitrust, which is actually preventing unfair competition, in America right now. No regulator is going to sit on, there's no regulator going to Silicon Valley to start sitting on them and say, oh, you must do it this way, you must do it. You give people room to innovate. And that's why Silicon Valley is creating all what it's creating today. So we are regulating an ecosystem that has not even started yet. there's not been given room to actually grow and actually create local innovations. It's very, very easy for us to create innovations that can go global from here. So if we are really, really serious about our balance of trade, about how to actually make Nigeria really great, we give people room to innovate. What is happening now is not doing that at all. It's just stifling everybody.